Thank you, my friend. Awesome. Sorry,
Yeah.
DJ.
No, I just wanted to mention that she just did a great job and she walks all the way through her scripts and whatever. It's just an amazing podcast. Just go onto YouTube, look up Tina Call, Caul, and go at for her latest one. It was just a few days ago that she did that. So I'm going to share my screen real fast and hopefully I get the right one up this time. And okay, you tell me, is it up? 6 weeks to 6 listings? All right. So I have spent a lot of time thinking about this. What can we do to help our agents actually get into the market and stop being afraid of listings? And part of it is that you have to have a plan, right? You just can't wing it. You have to have a plan. And so this program is basically going through every week, we're going to choose a different way to find clients. And I'm going to quit saying lead generation. I'm going to say find clients because I think we get scared when we hear that lead generation, lead generation, lead generation. So we're going to talk about how to find clients. And each week we're going to go through something. If you can see on my list here, one, buy lunch, not leads. People don't do business with mailers. Fish where there are fish. Pick up the neglected gems, transition support. Who don't you know that you need to know? Post to prosper, and the fortune is in the follow-up. Actually, there'll be an additional segment is on how to get leads without paying upfront. So it's going to be sources where leads will come in and you pay after you get your commission check. So it's going to be very structured. We're going to both have a training. We're going to get your calendar out, set your calendar dates for the things that you're going to do then that next week. We're going to have an accountability session. We're going to talk about what happened. It's not bad. Don't get all wigged out about an accountability session. We're just going to talk about what worked, what didn't work, and what we can do to help each other. And then we will spend the last 30 minutes role playing over what we've learned and the scripts that we can use. It'll also include scripts, and it's $97 for the whole 6 weeks. And it will start on May 13th, and I will be getting the information out to you very quickly. So if you have any questions, my number is 941-779-3943, but I'll put it in the chat box. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them right now too, but I don't want to step on Steve's time. So there you go. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you. And I know that we have a few more. Good gracious. Good morning, Rich.
What up? What up?
So as we are waiting on Steve Pugh to hop on, I don't see him yet. This is what's so funny. Last Friday, Rich, some crazy person called you on the telephone after your call. What happened?
Listen, I think Friday we shared a lot of valuable content, whether you're a buyer's agent currently or a listing agent, or you're thinking about making a switch or whatever, on some of the effects that the NAR settlement could have, and then 22 different ways or 22 different solutions to it. I'm actually taking that video right now, Claire, and I'm going to break it out into the 7 effects for the listing agent, the 10 effects for the buyer's agent, and then the 22 solutions. I'm going to chunk those down, and on Friday, I'm going to share those specific videos on my call on Friday for people that want to just watch that. If you want to listen to it, I'll have the link so that you can do that too. And then we're gonna go deep. We're gonna go deep because we are positioned in a way to win. We are positioned in a way to win, and I think that we're light years ahead of some of our competition. And then DJ's got her 6 weeks to 6 listings, and DJ, you could talk about that too. Not to hijack any of this, but like the amount of value that we're bringing every week, it's kind of firing me up.
Yeah, so it was interesting that after Rich's Friday call, I immediately had to call him. My heart was so set on fire for the amount of information that he gave to us. I was blown away. I haven't been blown away since, I mean, I'll be perfectly honest, and this is not blowing smoke up at Rich. The last time I was that fired up was when I was standing in front of John Maxwell and he was talking about habits. There you go. And I was like blown away. So I appreciate you, Rich, chunking down that content, bringing it back to us on a silver platter. I appreciate DJ because right now we are at a pivotal point in our industry and in our business. Is he, and we've said this for years, however, it's more important than ever. He who has the listings will win. He who has the listings will not fail. We will control our businesses. We will be able to forecast our businesses. We will be able to run our budgets. We will be able to make sure that everything is taken care of, because I am so excited to see what is going to happen within our industry, which Rich talked about as well, and making sure that we are supporting our industry, supporting our agents, supporting everything that we do. And he gave a key point that I think is huge. Most of the consumers out there do not even know all of the jobs that we take care of, all of the tasks that we do, because we have held it so close to the vest that they just think we put a sign in the yard, put a lockbox on, put it on the MLS. As a buyer's agent, they just think we open up doors and we submit contracts. If we're not creating the content and telling the story of what goes on before a property goes on the market, what happens when things come about during the process, what happens after closing, we're doing a disservice to the industry. And I just appreciate everyone's information that we're contributing to our industry to raise it to the next level. And I know that I still don't see Steve on, and he said he would only be 15 minutes late. So let's time it down. Dun, 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 dun. Matt McCord, good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, Claire.
What's up, Sunshine?
How are you?
I'm doing well. I got a little bit of I did this veterans retreat out in West Texas, hunting hogs out of helicopters. So I
Oh my
I got a
gosh.
little bit of raspy voice right now from yelling and being excited. So
Are you bringing us back some good meat?
that's not meat you want to eat. Those are nasty. Those are nasty hogs.
Just making
But
sure.
I got 95 of them in 3 days or 3 flights by myself. So it was pretty fun.
Very good. Thank you.
The,
Thank you.
the
Thank
ranchers
you.
appreciate it.
Awesome. Go
Hey,
ahead,
Claire,
Rich.
I got a question. Can you, while we're waiting for Steve, can DJ talk about what her 6-week class is?
She did
Uh,
before you hopped on, but she can again if you
damn,
want
you
her
know
to.
what? Damn it. I'm sorry, DJ. I was late. I got hung up on the phone. I'm sorry.
She did, and
Oh,
there's
oh,
other stuff
good.
in the chat about it, but she even showed her slide presentation as well. We're a good crew
Awesome.
this morning.
Sorry. I'll,
You're
I'll, I'll get
good.
it. I'll get it later. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I'm more than happy to talk about it anytime. But I will share a slide that I stole, by the way, from another coach, and which I just love. And that is, take a look at this. What's bottlenecking your business? Isn't that interesting? It's like, okay, leads, conversion, scaling. Look at that. It's like, okay, what are you doing? When are you doing it? How are you doing it? Your leads, how to get your more leads. Sources, what are your sources to get leads? Quantity, how many do you need? How about your conversion rate? Do you know your conversion rate? That's huge. And are you using your scripts? I know people go to scripts, but honestly, you don't have to use them word by word, but they're like arrows in your, what do you call that, quill? When you need those things there. And mastery, are you a master? So what I would say to every one of you is take a look at this and highlight it. Which ones are you need help with? Which ones are you okay at? And which ones are you a master at? And if you're a master of all of these, then you don't need to attend my workshop, and you don't need to attend Rich's classes, and you don't need to coach with Claire. But if you have issues and you have something that's bottlenecking your business, reach out for help. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? And so there's just so much that, I mean, you listen to the people that are talking here, but you don't do anything with it. And I know that's the case from my coaching clients, that it's like people are getting ready to get ready, waiting to find out what's going to happen, what next shoe is going to drop. And I'll just tell you, in our industry, you never know. And it changes day to day, right, Rich? It changes every single day. So
Doesn't it though?
listen and attend the training and do your job. So
Absolutely. And in the chat, Michelle had a question. So go ahead, Michelle.
Okay, sorry. I was typing it out. Okay. So got a listing, door knocked, had some neighbors invite me inside. A lot of the people were interested in better understanding their home value. I took down notes and I made appointments for this week. In those conversations, they were unclear of what their goals are. So between you and me, I think they just want a number and they just want like a quick feedback kind of a thing. I'm using it as listing presentation practice because who cares? You know, I need to be better. So I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but I also at the same time am realizing, gosh, no one is signing this contract. What am I doing wrong? I know they don't have a clear exit plan. And so maybe I need to work on that because they're like, well, where do we go next? So I guess I'm just a little frustrated. Like, yes, I have the premise in my head. Okay, I'm doing this for listing presentation practice and I'm going through all the steps and it's awesome. But at the same time, I'm like, man, I'm not leaving these houses with any signed deals. Any feedback?
Rich, go ahead.
Are you asking the right questions?
I mean, probably the answer is no. I mean, if I'm not leaving with signed contracts, I am trying to have them guide the conversation. And so, for instance, let me be clear that my question to the A team is, how do I discern whether or not they really want to sell their home or if they truly just want a value and they want to just showcase all of the upgrades that they did, or if they really do have a timeline to leave their house? That's the question. And then as question number 2, secondary, is how can I get to the core of those answers in a more efficient way? Because not that I don't love going into these people's houses, but it does take time and I am trying to use it as practice. But like I said, it's not fruitful right now.
Well, so first, what I would say is, Michelle, thank you for being vulnerable and asking the question. Because I believe that out of the 33 people on this call, you're not the only one that feels that way or has experienced that. So thank you for asking the question. What I would ask you to do 2 things. First would be to record your listing presentation and send it to me so that I can actually see and hear how you're presenting it and what that looks like. The second thing that I would ask you is, you mentioned that you're allowing them to guide the conversation. So what I would ask is, while you're allowing them to guide the conversation, are you asking the right questions to get the desired result that you want? Or are you showing up and just having a conversation about their house without a set goal or priority of, this is my intention while we're here in this 45-minute appointment today? So I would ask you those two questions, and really, because I do see that Steve's here. What I would say is, once we have those two answers, then we can really dive deep into understanding, one, are you asking the right questions? And two, is the conversation more about you or more about them?
Thank
That
you,
is
Rich.
such great feedback.
Thank
Hey,
you,
Rich.
Michelle. Thank
Yeah.
you, Rich.
Michelle, can I ask a question? Rich, that's awesome. And it takes the pressure off of me. I love this. Are you pre-qualifying these people before you go out? Are
Well,
you doing a seller pre-qualification?
so for one, yes. The other one, when I was door knocking, they just invited me in and we just started talking, and she wanted the value, and I sent it to her afterwards. That was stupid. I'm never going to do that again. So I think that is part of my angst. Like, I need to think better on my feet, because technically that was my opportunity to have a listing presentation when she said, come inside.
I
Yes
would
or no?
probably, yeah. I mean, obviously, time is of the essence, right? But I would definitely pre-qualify. You said you pre-qualified one of them. What does that look like to Michelle? What did you do there?
I asked about her timelines. I asked about her goals. I think that part of the reason why I'm getting some calls is because the listing we have in the community, it's twofold. One, it's a higher price listing. So I think the neighbors are like, what? How could it go for that? So now they're interested. And two, this happens to be a community built in the 90s. So a lot of the people have raised their kids. They are in their early years of retirement, and they're thinking about what's next. So I think those.
Sorry to interject. Did you pre-qualify them prior to the appointment or at the appointment?
Prior.
So you did.
So
a phone
yeah.
call, right?
Yeah. We were on a phone call. We were on a text thread, and now I'm going to her house on Thursday.
Do you run through a set of questions? Do you have like an official seller pre-qualification form?
I do, courtesy of Claire.
All right, awesome. Okay.
But if you have another one, I'm happy to see that too.
No, I don't want to mess up your system that you have going. And really, you should have a system when you enter that house, right? You need to take control. Obviously, the person asking the questions is in control of the conversation. Like Rich said, it's just asking the right questions and strong questions. I think at the end of the day, you can't force a square peg through a round hole. It just needs to be a direct conversation. You can't make somebody, you can motivate somebody, you can't motivate them, right? So you've just got to get to the crux of the issue. Do they want to sell or not? Explain to them now is the best time. Explain to them in this depreciating market, they're probably losing about $118 a day with respects to the price depreciations from January, February to March. And if they do want to sell, the time is now. If they don't, no problem. But I think it's just talking to more people. You know what I mean? I would almost say, put them on a drip campaign and next, if they're not in a position where they're ready to do anything now, and just keep bringing them value until they are. So I don't know anybody else's thoughts, Rich?
Hey, so Steve, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, listening to you, Michelle, it sounds like you get, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but just the way you said it, you're like, I keep leaving without a signed contract. You're that first one, you're introducing, you're providing value to them, and you're building a relationship. You're letting them see, like, hey, this is who I am, this is what I provide to you. They're not necessarily going to sign right then and there, right? So what Steve just said is that drip campaign, and DJ had it on her slide, is the fortunes in the follow-up, right? So are you following up with them? Like, hey, it was great to meet you. Thank you for allowing me into your home and provide this information. Maybe a little bit of follow-up information based off what you talked about, some facts on the neighborhood, the market analysis like you talked about, but doing that follow-up and not being discouraged that you didn't get it on the spot.
Also, Michelle, bringing them new information. People will make new decisions with new information. So the longer, if you stay in relation with them, maybe there's a snippet of news that comes out from now, maybe something pops up and you provide them that information, and they'll make a new decision and get into action at that time. But at the end of the day, I have people talking to me saying this market sucks. The market doesn't suck. It's irrelevant to your success. Nothing to do with the market. The market's tough, but it doesn't suck. At the end of the day, it's just it's talking to more people. It's easy as that. So I mean, if you've been, you know, providing them value, Michelle, and that they're not, it's next. Move on. Obviously, stay in relation with them, but move on. Lead generate. When you generate, you don't have to tolerate, right?
Such great wisdom, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry for my directness. Hopefully I didn't.
You don't have to apologize for sharing the facts, Stephen. This is what we like about that. And Michelle is very open for directness, and this helps us all. And just like what Rich said, I appreciate Michelle being vulnerable enough to ask for help, because we are better together. And this bridged the gap as to the reason why that the awesome Steve Pugh is on our call today. So, brother man, lead us out.
I don't have anything. I'm
Oh
hanging.
my
I
gosh.
got nothing.
Oh, that is so not true. So let me tell you what Steve has. Steve has a set of tools that he opens up daily, that he keeps polished, and he uses them time on task, time over time, every day. And what is the one thing that you do every day to obtain your listings and make them real?
Lead generate. Lead generate 9 to 11. 9 to 11, and I'm making attraction calls from 11:30 to 1. So those are my days right there. And it's not perfect every day, right? It's gonna come in thirds. A third of the time it's gonna suck, a third of the time it's gonna be okay, and a third of the time it's gonna be great. But the difference is it's you guys have heard this time and time again. It's just doing it every day, you know? And there's days that I'll miss, but I sure as heck make sure I get up and do it again the next day.
So how can we grow our skill sets right now and build the value that we can offer as listing agents?
How can you build your skill set right now?
Yeah.
Basically by going on appointments, by getting into action. I think a lot of us, myself included, in the beginning, it was analysis paralysis, right? Everything had to be perfect. It's the same with people that do video or social media. I think when you're in action, you can then make adjustments, right? But if you have no action to gauge it on, you're not going to be able to get feedback for those times when you flopped during a listing appointment, you know? For those times when I went into a listing appointment and had a panic attack and had a sweat attack and sitting right there at the kitchen table. Trust me, I've been there multiple times. But guess what? I kept going back. I was a glutton for punishment. So, and I still don't have it nailed. I still don't think I have it down as good as I could, right? And I'm not going on enough appointments. I need to be going on more appointments. If you didn't go on an appointment today, seriously, well, Jeff Glover knows this, Rich knows this. What did you do, right? And Jeff's a machine. So Rich put something in the chat. There's a couple of things I can share real quick with respects to listing stuff that may be of value. 20 minutes, Rich. So normally it's from 8:40 to 9. If I could sell my children, I would do it 5 days a week, but my wife won't let me. I have to keep them. So sounds terrible, but so it's only 3 days a week, because the other 2 days I got to take the Rugrats to school. And then we Zoom. So a lot of it will Zoom, or we'll do in office. But there's always Zoom sessions available. So what I'm trying to do now is, which I should have done by Friday morning, is build out a mini script book for some of these NAR changes, because I don't know about you, but I'm hearing it already. I got it on a listing appointment on Sunday, and then I got it about 4 days before that in a conversation with a seller. So if you guys aren't hearing it, you're going to start hearing it. So I'm going to build out a script book for that. And maybe I can share it with you guys. Let me just make a note. Can I screen share, Claire?
Let me make you co-host, or look at, let me just do this.
And you guys
Yes,
are busy.
you
guys are
can
busy.
now.
Yeah.
You can now.
And you
Thank you.
guys are busy too. I have until like 9:15. I don't want to sound like a pompous ass, but I have until 9:15.
Can I ask a favor, Steve?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Can you do yourself a favor
Ah,
as us being brothers and sisters and being accountable?
what'd I do?
You called yourself something that I would
Oh,
not call my worst enemy. So don't do that to yourself, please.
I
You're too
know.
much of a leader. Thank you.
I get bad with that. All right. So how many transaction sides this year projected? Anybody know? Just a guess. Anybody know? No, 4.5 million. That's 4.5 million units. That's 9 million transaction sides. There is enough for you, right? Whatever your personal goals are out of those 9 million. The challenge that we're having is most agents got into the business in 2011. So all they've seen is an upward market. What's going to make a difference now is service and skills. Okay. 2 years ago, it was very different. You guys know that. You put a house on the market, it would sell. You'd go to listing appointments, talk to sellers about evaluation. It was whatever price they wanted. Oh, yeah, that's fine. So the biggest thing that you're going to need to do, and I keep saying it, is just talk to more people, whether that's events, cold calls, calling your database, your sphere of influence, people in your world. An action tip I would tell you to do 7 days, in the next 7 days, is get 50 people out of your phone if you don't have them in KV Core yet, right? Go through them, make sure that you have name, phone number, email, and physical address. If you don't, reach out to them and let them know that you want to provide them weekly with valuable real estate related information. It's not a bunch of spam. And that if they you could do a Google form, and if they fill this form out, there's a chance to give away. They get something, maybe a customized Yeti cooler or something like that if you sponsor with a lender. But I would urge you all to get everybody in your phone into KV Core and set up on some type of weekly newsletter. That's where the money is. It's in the people in your world, right? Going through what we're about to go through, there's going to be 3 types of people. People that blame everything. They're going to blame the interest rates. They're going to blame the economy. They're going to blame Sleepy Joe. They're going to blame everybody. You've got the overly optimistic that aren't going to change anything, and they think that everything's just going to be okay and avoid reality. And you've got the resourcefully realistic, the ones that require that it's going to take more effort, okay? Basically, you've got to bring the activity level to match what is required in this market, and just focus on 2 to 3 lead generation pillars and stay there, okay? I'm going to run through some of these slides. Can you guys see that?
Yes, we see the
Okay.
sides per agent.
All right, so projected slides per agent this year, we are at 5.7 as an average. We've added 581,000 agents from 2013 to 2023. That's why the sides have dropped. And I'm going to say this with all due respect, right? If you're not going to do the activity that's required, you may just want to get out of the market. You may just want to get out of the business. That's it. I mean, it's a shame for some of you because you've made it until April 23rd, 2024. You've made it this far. But if you're not willing to do the activity that's going to be required, then just quit. Do yourself a favor. Sellers found their agent. This is why your sphere of influence and the people in your world are so important. If you can just stay in flow with them. 39% were referred, right? What do sellers want from their agents? They want help to price their home competitively. Second, close runner-up, they want help to market the home to potential buyers, and then to sell the home within a specific time frame. Those are your top 3. Just food for thought. Most important factors: reputation. So, you know what I mean? Having a review campaign, working on your Google reviews. We use True Review. That's a system that we use, that we subscribe to get reviews across multiple platforms. It's just building that reputation. method used to sell a home, 89% used an agent or a broker. That's good news for us, huh? It's a big number. Okay, 5 reasons to be a lister. Number 1, it's an employer versus an employee, right? As a listing agent, you're the employer. The employee is the one running around all over town nights and weekends showing the employer's product as a buyer's agent. Number 2, gets you more recognition in the market, being a lister. Number 3, by being a listing agent, it'll give you opportunities, more opportunities to get more listings. And number 4, there's the 2-to-1 formula that Jeff teaches on that we'll try to cover on another call. I don't think we're gonna get to it today, right? And then 5th and final, develop stats and reviews as a listing agent. It's easier to do. What I mean by that is you're able to advertise that you achieved 97% list to sale price achieved, sold in 7 days. It's just to develop stats, it's a little bit easier as a listing agent versus a buyer's agent. All right, how to increase your chances of winning a listing before you even meet with the seller. Seller pre-qualification. Michelle, this is, and you have the one from Claire, right? So what we'll do is I'll send, after I do the seller pre-qual, I'll send out a handwritten card. Thank you for speaking with me, right? We have a marketing techniques email that we send over to the seller with respects to some examples of some video that we've done on other property and aerial imagery and interior photos. Then we'll drop off a pre-listing packet in a brown manila envelope to their house, right? The day before the appointment. On a higher end property, I'll have them sign for it. It's got to be a signature to receive, okay? And then you guys may think this is overkill, but it's just touches prior to the appointment. And then I'll send over, looking forward to meeting you email. It's a short video. We may have a chance to look at it. Just what is to be expected and what I'm going to cover in the listing appointment. All right. Why do we pre-qualify?
Steve, can I pause you right there real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go
Yes,
back
ma'am.
to that previous slide. This
Yes,
is what's so impactful, y'all that are on this call. If you listened to the process that Steve just told to you, he is touching all of the behavioral profiles and gleaming them and meeting their needs. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And if you get real good, which I'm not there yet, but when you're doing the seller pre-qual, right, you're going to figure out their DISC profile, DISC. And you can almost cater the way you present to fit in with their DISC profile to increase your chances of winning the listing. That's real high-end stuff. Yeah, it's it matters, right? But one thing at a time. Don't overwhelm yourselves. Just try to build value before you get together with these people, because I guarantee you, if you're up against multiple agents, which is going to be very possible in the near future, you're going to need to set yourselves apart. And very few agents are doing this. So just by doing these additional touches, when you get to that appointment, you're going to be a step above, right? So why do we pre-qualify? We need to determine their motivation. We need to uncover any objections prior to the appointment. And it's also to display a level of professionalism that maybe other agents aren't doing. Most agents, and myself included, for many years, you know, you'd get a phone call about a listing, you'd tuck your tail between your legs and you'd run over to the house all excited. I got a listing appointment, you know? And then you get there and you find out that their payoff is more than what their house is worth. You find out that they want 600,000 and their house is really worth 500. You find out that they have a solar panel system and the payoff is 75 grand and they don't want to pay it. So these are the things that we're trying to uncover, right? Prior to going to the appointment to see if it even validates us going. 3 rules of pre-qualifying. You pre-qualify 100% of the people 100% of the time. You ask 100% of questions 100% of the time, because when you're going through this seller pre-qual, your mind is going to tell you, oh my gosh, I'm not asking them that one. Such as, are you interviewing other agents for the job of selling your home? So you need to know. One that I went on recently, which I didn't get, by the way, But I pre-qualified. I found out they were interviewing other agents. I found out who the agent was and what company they worked for. And I tailored certain things in my presentation with respects to us and EXP that they didn't know I knew. But this other company, this other lady that they were meeting with, her company couldn't do these things for them that we could do. So that's kind of important why you find out. And if you're a strong closer, I'll go last. But if you're a strong closer and you find out that they're interviewing 3 other people, you may want to get in the door first, right? And get it wrapped up. So that's why you want to find out if they're interviewing other agents. That's why it's so important. And you're
And
not
Steve, why do you always want to be first in line?
I don't, Claire. I'll go last. But if you're a strong closer, you want to get in the door first.
I like
Right?
being first.
I hear ya. Yeah, everybody's different. There's conflicting thoughts on that, right?
Sure.
So, I mean, I don't want to say one way or another, but now I know. So if I'm up against you, I'm going first. So, so
And this is some of the stuff that later on, as we're building and looking at this, you know, there's going to be some role play, you know, on these calls, because I know that Steve's got a time constraint because you've only got 3 more minutes, buddy.
yeah, I know I have somebody up front or coming in at 9:15. So during my lead gen time, which I tried to move around and I couldn't. So what was I going to say? Yeah, we do need to do that. That would be of value to some people to prepare them, Claire. You know what I mean? So it can be awkward, uncomfortable, all that jazz, but it's just time on task. If you're not going to go to the appointment, stay back and find a new client, right? That's if you pre-qualify them and you don't think it's worth going on that appointment, which it's quite possible, then stay back and find a new client. 4 reasons that we don't pre-qualify, that our monkey mind will talk us out of doing it. Because of the fear of missing out on the appointment, that they'll disqualify or discredit themselves, the fear of scaring the client or giving them the chance to cancel, right? Fear of learning something we don't want to hear. For example, they're interviewing other agents. That was the other thing I was going to tell you too. Just by asking that question, you're not going to suddenly give them an idea to interview other agents. If they were planning to do it, they're going to be doing it. Reason number 4, fear of receiving objections or questions over the phone, right? Never handle a commission objection over the phone. Never, never, never. Never handle commission and never handle price. Let's see what else we got. So this is the seller pre-qual form. If you guys want it, I can get it over to you. Just let Claire know and Claire will reach out. This is the one that we use. I like that last question too. What qualities are you looking for in a realtor?
Yes,
That's
Steve,
just
I
an
think that's
example.
awesome. Just email it to me, and then those people that email me, I can send it out in a group. Thanks.
Okay. All right, I will. Okay. And then that's just an example of the card I mail, the marketing techniques email with links to videos that we've done in the past. So our pre-listing pack, this is what it will contain. Our 15-point listing plan of action, which is, let me see if I can show you guys real quick. Right there. You can take a picture if you want. But that's actually what we break down in terms of educating a seller on what we do to sell homes. Okay. Mistakes that I've made. We have a system where we take photography video on a Wednesday. We go market on Thursday. No showings Friday. And then showings are allowed during the open house weekend, Saturday or Sunday. That's a system we run. Whenever you're presenting, though, always make sure you ask sellers how they feel about open houses. Because I didn't in the past, and I lost a couple of listing appointments, high-end listings, because I was leading with that system that we run. And unbeknownst to me, they didn't want anybody in their house. They hated open houses, and I lost the listing to another agent. So make sure you always ask. Go ahead. Did you have something, Matt?
Steve, can you present? Can you present can you repeat what you just said about your process, the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, please?
So yeah, video photography on Wednesday. We go to market on Thursday, and we're still running it this way, and it still seems be working, Matt, even with the changes in the market. And then we're holding showings. There's no one allowed to look at the house Friday, and then we start showings on Saturday and Sunday when we do the open house. So we do an open house weekend. Now, don't lead with open houses. You've got to ask them how they feel about open houses first, because if they're not a proponent of it, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot, right? So make sure you ask how they feel about open houses first before you lead with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've been seeing less and less people wanting the open houses with my listings up here.
Okay. So yeah,
But-
you may not want to.
But that's also, I mean, that's a huge aspect too, guys, of when people don't want open houses. That's something that you can really drive home of why it's even more important to have a strong listing agent.
Yeah, true. So pre-listing pack, I'm gonna wrap up, guys.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, I'm going a little bit over. So 15-point listing plan of action. We'll print the listing sold by us in the area, showing our activity around the subject property. We'll have a basic form in there for conveyance, what they're planning to leave with the property. All of this is kind of mentally preparing them to get ready to list with us, right? A pre-listing letter detailing what to expect at the appointment, some reviews, and then copies of seller's disclosure and whatever other required disclosures, lead-based paint, HOA, right? And then the last thing I'll show you guys, hopefully this is of value. I don't know if this is going to play, Claire. We'll see.
Hi, this is your realtor, Steve Pugh, HP.
Can you hear that? You can hear that? So, okay, so
Yes.
I'll send this the day before the appointment.
Our group, EXP Realty. We like to send out this quick video prior to appointments, just so you guys know what to expect during and after our appointment. First and foremost, I want to thank you for considering us for the presentation, marketing, and sale of your property. We're going to kind of be covering three main things tomorrow at our appointment. Number one, obviously gives us a chance to meet each other, see if we're a fit, and we even want to work together. Number two, we'll be reviewing motivation and goals, your motivation and your goals, and what's most important to you as a direct result of this transaction. And number three, if you feel comfortable and confident at the conclusion of our appointment, go ahead and activate that next step and move forward. So you should have had a package dropped off at your door, just to kind of be proactive with some seller's disclosures, and if you live in HOA community, an HOA disclosure. If you can go ahead and fill those out prior to our appointment, that would be a great help. And also with the understanding that if we agree to move forward, we're going to go ahead and need a copy of the key. All right. So excited to meet you tomorrow. Look forward to our appointment, and thank you.
There you go. And anybody can do that, right? Just covering the three things, disclosures, and then a copy of the key, mentally preparing them. Not a big deal. And that will go out the day before. All right. Claire, I can cover some other stuff throughout the presentation. Just remembering that we left off on the listing plan of action. I mean, I know that was short. I hope you guys got some value out of that. And just remember, talk to more people. That's what it's going to take.
Steve,
That's
can we
all.
say thank you? We appreciate you. We don't need you to be late.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate that. So, and if you want to set it up where I can come back and finish off.
Sure will. Why don't
then
we
I
do
can-
that? How would everybody like to do this next Tuesday? Can you do that, Steve?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
finish it off. Yeah, no problem. All right. All right, guys, have an awesome day. Get into action. Action, action, action. Action
Thank
will
you,
cure
Steve.
all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. See you guys.
Appreciate you. So I have everybody who put their email address in the chat copied. And as soon as Steve gets that stuff from me, which y'all know he has an appointment right now, as soon as he gets that stuff over to me, I will send this out in a mass email. Okay. That was fast and furious. So thank y'all for your participation. Do we have any questions? We've got about 10 more minutes. That's it.
Claire, let me jump in here for a second.
Yep.
Okay, so do I have screen sharing capability?
Yes, I gave it to everybody.
Okay.
That was the easiest click on Zoom. It's just let anybody participate. Go ahead, take it over.
Okay, this is a list of everything that a listing agent does all the way through. Can you see it?
Yes.
And then this is what a buyer's agent does all the way through.
90 points on the listing, 90 points on the buyers.
Yes, and what I'll do when we hang up is I'll send this to you. And if anybody wants this along with what Steve offered, Claire can send it to you in a group, together. How's that? It is really important that your clients know that you're not a 3P agent. You don't, put it into MLS, put a sign in the yard and pray. There's more that you do than that. So you don't have to use them all, but take the ones that you do. Don't put anything in there you don't do when you're sharing this information with your buyers and sellers.
Thank you, DJ. I'm distracted because more people are popping in with their emails that they want the information. So give me just a second. Multitasking this morning is not as great as what I usually am, y'all. Forgive me. Yeah, that's the key things. What were the ahas, if you want to come off mute and share? What were your ahas from what this call delivered to you today? Because you've heard from multiple people. You've heard multiple different ways. What were your ahas?
I guess for me, it's what he did.
Who's talking? Somebody's talking.
Sorry.
They got to speak up.
Oh, can you hear me? Sorry, can
Al,
you hear
is
me?
that you?
Yeah, you can
Okay,
hear me?
now I can hear you, buddy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so what Steve was saying is the fact that if you don't do the job that that's required to do the job, then you might as well, exit the business. So that was pretty like, it's either you put up or shut up, I guess, kind of sort of.
That is true. So how do you think that's going to help you moving forward, Al?
Just got to be more motivated to get the things done that's required to get done. No excuses.
Right? So if you know your numbers and you know what needs to be done, if your goals are a certain amount of transactions or a certain amount of volume, do you know how to back that back down to your conversations? How many conversations you're having? Matt, let me ask you, I see your face. Share with Al how many conversations you have to have each day in order to obtain a listing for your business model that you're running this year.
Hey, buddy. So for me, I know my conversion rate based off, like I do it, and a good place to start is about 75%. So if you use 75%, that'll be pretty close to what you'll end up doing. But my conversion rate, what I use is about 1 out of every 10 conversations is where I'm going to bring in a customer. It may be a buyer. They may give me somebody that they know that needs to buy, but they're not interested in selling right now. But about 1 in every 10 conversations. So my goal is what I do is my goal is about 300,000 a year. So I have a whole breakdown, and I can send that over to you, that what I was talking about with that calculator as well, Claire. It's actually one that I got from MREA when we were with Keller Williams, and I still use that one. Some of the stuff, you guys won't know, but it gives you a standard to use in there. But if you're going to get 1 listing appointment out of every 10 conversations you have, or 1 buyer appointment out of every 10 conversations you have, then that helps you to know how many you need to make. But it's honestly a lot less than you think, guys. Like when you think in your mind, I want to sell 20 houses this year. You only need to have 2 to 3 listing appointments a week, or 2 to 3 conversations a week to sell 20 houses in a year. So it's really, and that's based off giving myself time off in the year as well. So I base it off 46 weeks out of the year. If I take 6 weeks off out of the year, I work 46 weeks out of the year because I have 4 kids. So I do stuff with my kids. We travel to tournaments, whatever it may be, vacation. 46 weeks out of the year, 3 to 4 listing appointments a week. Then I can do 20 deals, 25 deals in a year. That's the goal.
Thank you, Matt. So Matt, just out of curiosity, what's your average price point?
So it increases the more you do, guys. I started out, I've been doing it 7 years now. My average price point 6 years ago, because I didn't sell my first house for about 9 months. My average price point 6 years ago was about $230,000, $250,000. My average now is $515 a house.
So that means that you make more money in the same business model as you're raising your price point,
You make more money with a lot less effort, to be honest.
right?
Photos cost me the same, no matter what the house is. And that's the thing, guys. Like, the marketing aspect costs you the same. I've dabbled in luxury. And to be honest, like Claire, you were asking about that one I just had. I just had a $2.5 million listing. It ended up expiring. But it cost me the same in photos for that one as a $350,000 listing does. So just something to think about. You get a lot more commission when it comes out of it. But where the cost comes in the more expensive houses is if you're doing staging, marketing, open houses, broker open houses. That's where it gets a lot more expensive. And you have to do that to sell the higher end houses. And you have about it's about 1% of buyers looking for houses above $1 million in my area, versus the people looking for the 3-2 single family houses. So yeah, it's cool to get $30,000 or $40,000 commission, but it's kind of like roulette. Like you have a lot smaller pool of buyers looking for that, and it's going to be on the market a heck of a lot longer and cost you a lot more to list it. So those are all things you have to think about as well. People try and go straight after the luxury stuff, but that's also stuff you have to think about when you're making those calls for expireds, for sell by owners, for those luxury listings as well.
So that is a huge little nugget that Matt just passed on. I know that some of you on this call are visiting as well, and we appreciate your time to come and be with us. We've got about 2 minutes, and I want to say this. The way that my coach led me to becoming a strong listing agent was this, and this alone. If I wanted to double my business in 1 year, all I had to do was focus on the amount of listings I was obtaining, because we have come to a very exciting time in the market that I truly love. And it's the fact that it doesn't take a day to sell a house. Where we shine is in our marketing. Where we shine is through our listings, and through every listing, you can obtain between 2 and 4 extra transactions for every listing that you're putting on the market. Now, this is what's even more key going into July. The more listing inventory you have, now the bigger opportunity is we're going to see buyers coming directly to the listing agent because they think they're going to save money. So just keep that in mind, that we're going to have even more opportunity per listing to have more closings. If that makes sense, just put it up in your cute little noggin, push it down into your heart to realize the more listings and sellers that you serve, the better and more stable your business and growth will be moving forward. So some of y'all have not, how many of y'all have been through a shift in the market where you went from buyer's market to seller's market or seller's market to buyer's market? How many of y'all on this call? Okay. So I was sharing with our Rise coaching clients, yesterday, wasn't it, Angela? I was sharing with us yesterday, and here's the thing, and Gisela. When we're becoming strong listing agents and we're switching our business model to listings and focusing on our listing appointments, you will have a better business model to run. There are teams now that are already redoing their whole business model. Instead of buying buyers leads, they're buying sellers leads for the big teams. They've already been doing this transition since October of last year. If we do not agree to pivot now and put things in place now and become stronger now on our listing skills, we're placing our businesses in a position to fail. And I don't want to see that from anybody on this call. I'm just being real. Right, Matt? I'm kind of real. And we're kind of in the same market. So, and I don't compete with Matt. And here's what's so cool. When I'm on a listing appointment, I'm asking who else that they're interviewing. This is what I say. If they say yes, I was like, great. Could I have that person's name? And this is the reason why. There are a lot of great agents in our area, and I don't like to compete against my friends. The other thing that I say is, you know what? I coach a lot of people in our area, and I'm not going to steal a client from someone that I'm coaching. And they appreciate that. I'm just honest, you know? Sometimes you can tag team with this other agent. They might need that listing. You might be able to share that listing. I'm just saying, we have to get our minds in a different mindset right now, that we're all in the same industry and we're all in this together. And we can make sure that we're serving at excellence in that platinum rule, not the golden rule. And here's what I mean. The golden rule says, do unto others as you would have do unto you. Platinum rule is do unto others how they would like to be done to them. We're in the service industry. Take it to the platinum level. I know that we went 2 minutes over. Any questions or concerns? Gisella's like, man, you just fed me. She's like, I'm trying to process this. I see her cute little face, her pen's out. She got her paper on. Angela got that sweet smile on. Matt's like, let's go get this shit done. So
That was awesome, Claire. That was awesome. I
I
like
forgot
that.
to stop the recording.
Yeah.